My name is John Mena. I work as a project manager for SMI, and we're here at 165 Capitol Avenue, which is a pretty significant building for the state. It's a historic building. As a matter of fact, we're preserving some of those historic features of the building in the first floor, as well as in the stair towers, where there's marble columns and walls and so on. But ultimately, for instance, we have to protect a lot of those features because they're irreplaceable. So we've used a lot of plywood to be able to cover up all of the different features that are out there. There's some marble walls, there's also some brass, some very high-end type of finish materials. The stairs are also stone as well. So all of that we basically plywooded up with a special type of plywood. So this project is about 300,000 square feet. It's roughly about 8 stories, including the sub-basement. And this is a complicated job because there's basically asbestos abatement throughout the building. And what we have to do is that we have to stage it by floors. We started with the sub-basement, then went to the basement, and then went to the ground floor, and then we worked our way from top to bottom, going from 5th, 4th, 3rd, and so on. So it's quite complicated in the sense of all of the different manpower, which is probably over 100 people a day that we have to manage on a daily basis. It is asbestos abatement, but there's also selective demolition. And granted, as we were saying before, this is a very important building and we have to be very careful. So it's not just sledgehammers and what have you. Some things are very surgical. What makes it complicated is it is asbestos. I mean, it is a hazardous material, and there is a certainly very regulated. We're under constant supervision with environmental engineers that are constantly testing the air quality, being able to make sure there's containment, that there's nothing that's spread out, obviously for the welfare of all the workers, as well as for the future inhabitants of the building. So unfortunately, there is a lot of asbestos abatement in these buildings. And we have to take care of these operations very carefully with containment, with special tools and so on. These all get boxed up in Gaylord boxes, if you will. They're cubic yard type of boxes, very heavy, sometimes about 800 to 1,000 pounds each. And we're taking hundreds of them over the course of months. All of these boxes get loaded into trucks, and we're having usually about 4 to 5 trucks a day. We're talking about containers that are between 45 to 53 feet long. So on a daily basis, there's this constant generation of material that's got to be hauled off-site. So SMI is a very sophisticated company where we use special tactics and strategy to be able to tackle work. So we're not the typical blood and guts type of subcontractor. We have a very methodical approach. We have organized approach where we go on a sector by sector basis. We do man-loaded schedules where we actually track the time that it takes and the cost that it takes to be able to do all the work. And obviously we plan out on a daily basis how the work is going to be carried out. The famous, you plan the work the plan, that's what we kind of live by. And that's what makes us different, is that we know exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, we strategize on how to go about it, we keep our eyes on the schedule, we keep our eyes on the cost, and this is, I think, what makes us much different than everybody else, is that there's a level of sophistication that other subcontractors don't have that SMI applies on a daily basis.
Stay tuned for more videos on this exciting project as we move to lower floors and remove all the windows in the building. This is one of the fastest-paced asbestos and demolishing projects in the history of the state.